You know, one thing I never understood was why don't they make video games into movies? And that's what today's video is going to be about. It's interops, and I'm going to keep it short, simple. The intro's not going to take too long. We're going to get straight into the meat of the video. I've been thinking about this for a while. And, you know, video game companies, they try to make the movies. It's based off of the game series. It's got the characters, you know, it's got the stories, it's got the places. But why don't they make one-to-one copies of the game? Let me walk you through my reasoning here. Here's one thing. If you make a movie of the game, then the people who actually like the game are going to be naturally curious as to how the adaptation of the game is going to be to a movie, right? And second, people who don't like to play video games could experience the same story as the people who do like video games. And because of that, you get more fans into the series, and maybe people have the thought during the movie, wow, I can play a video game like this. You know what? Maybe if video games have stories like these, then maybe I can take, maybe I'm gonna start taking them more seriously. I always thought that video games were empty, just for kids. They had no meaning, they had no emotions. I thought they were, you know, just toys for kids. But now I've woken up, I've seen my eyes, I've seen this movie. And if this is an actual video game, then that's awesome. And now I know there's so much more to video games than what I had thought before. And then also you could convert some of these people who watch the movie. It's very similar to how when they make a movie from a book, I guarantee not a lot of people, not all people, not most people, but some people see that movie and think, wow, this was fantastic. I need to read the book of it. It was that good. And boom, that's more money in the bank. Why don't people do this? Why do no companies do this? It seems so obvious to me. And obviously there's like the only problems you have to think about with the movie. You have no problems with the story because the story has already been made. And maybe the challenge there is like, oh, well, how do you make a movie into a, or how do you make a game into a movie? Well, how do you make a book into a movie? You know, there's got to be some way to do it. You know, if there's a will, there's a way. And if someone wants to do it, then I think it can get done. And honestly, there are so many games I think would be great movies. And let's just remove the elephant in the room, at least in my mind. Metal Gear Solid, if those are movies, everyone would love those. I don't care. I don't care what people say. And that's my opinion. I think in the modern day, in the modern economy, when I hear people talk about gaming, I feel like I don't hear enough appreciation, love for Metal Gear Solid. And, you know, the games are so old. And I think it's great. A great thing that they did was release the Master Collection Volume 1, basically porting over all the old games on modern systems. One of the best things they ever did. Volume 2 coming out in August. So they're going to be porting over more of the old classics and letting people play those as well. And I highly recommend all of you guys do that because I think those games are great. And imagine, like, let's think about this. This is the Call of Duty community majority. We love Call of Duty. Imagine the OG games, Black Ops 1, COD 4, World at War. Dude, World at War would be a sick ass movie. How could anyone argue? I mean, obviously you won't follow one story because, you know, you've got the guys, you've got like the Soviet stuff and the American stuff in World at War. But like, that's fine. It doesn't matter because, you know, it's kind of the way you could kind of game it into the story way is like, you know, there's this war is big and it's happening and you get to see two perspectives of two soldiers and you switch between, and you know, it's kind of unexpected. Like maybe something important's about to happen in the American storyline, but it cuts off, so you're like wondering, like it leaves you on a cliffhanger. And then the Soviet stuff is happening and you're wondering like, well, like there was a big moment that was about to happen. Either you can let the moment go and pass and then switch, or you can, like, you see what I mean? There are so many great game series out there that I'm not thinking of that you might be thinking of that'd be fantastic movies. And like I said already, people who like the game are gonna watch the movie because they want to know how good of a job you did. And some people are just going to be curious. They're like, a movie? People like movies. Movies are easy to watch. You don't have to sit down. You don't have to buy a console. You can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on your computer. Watch it on your laptop. Watch it on your TV. You don't have to know how to play video games. Playing video games, like obviously most of us here watching these kinds of videos, watching the Call of Duty commentaries, watching the videos I make about Call of Duty, having that niche knowledge. But like, if you think about some of the adults, especially some of the older people, or some people our age who are just like, just generally don't have an interest in playing video games, they see these movies and they start thinking, wow, I want to play this game. If this is what the story is like, then this is awesome. I want to play it. I know I'm just rehashing what I said earlier, but why doesn't it seem so clear? Imagine how cool it would be to see characters like Albert Wesker, Frank Woods, Ghost, Leon S. Kennedy, Solid Snake, like these big guys, these big names. Or, dude, the GTA games are basically movies anyway. They're just an interactive form of entertainment. I mean, if you think about it, games, like I said, are an interactive form of entertainment. Movies, you just watch them. It's like cinema. Books, you read them. So if books can become movies, I still don't see why games can't become movies. Is it risky? Is it a finance thing? Or have other people I've never even heard of anyone who's tried to do it. Why has no one tried to do this? I think this would be so fantastic. I think more people would play your games. People would watch your movie. You've got a big series. You've got a big name. And you know, if you really do this movie right, you can generate lots of revenue, make lots of money. I just don't see the drawbacks here. Like, what is the part that I'm missing? Like, I don't have the knowledge to know that people haven't been doing. I think that would be so awesome. And there were so many movies that like I would love to see from game. And I think games, I think the modern person, the average person doesn't understand like how powerful video game storytelling can be and how really in-depth video games can be. Like, let's think about games like The Last of Us. I've never played The Last of Us, but I know it's so like very popular, held in high regard. The Red Dead Redemption also. so. And like, I can just go on, right? And I think maybe like before I keep going, what do you guys think about my take here? Am I cooking? Like, am I saying something true? Am I saying something completely wrong? Is a hot take? Is this a cold take? Do we agree? Do you want to see games turned into movies? And if so, what kind of games are we thinking? Because for me, I've been playing lots of Resident Evil lately. Honestly, I play Call of Duty like sometimes, for fun. I play for the videos, to get the background gameplay also because I want to be authentic for you guys. I always want to do everything clean, clear. Like I want you to know that I did it. No stealing, no copying. Dude, there's just literally one channel on YouTube called Classic Hod, and all he does is post gameplay with no commentary. That's literally all it does. I mean, I think I've seen other YouTubers use his videos and credit him, but I mean, for me, like, no problem sitting down, playing the game for a little bit, recording it. But circling back, like, I always want to hear what the comments have to say. Like, if you're watching this video at this point, like, stop what you're doing right now. Like, if you can, write a comment down below because I think like I really want to make it clear like how much I value what you guys have to say because I want Interops to be a community. To me, Interops is such a special YouTube channel. I love the presence we have here. Like if you see the channel icon, it looks cool. You see the channel banner, it looks cool. You see the name, it looks cool. I mean, if you watch the videos all the way to the end before, you know the catchphrase, you know the outro, you know what we say. And if you watch any of the videos that are about self-improvement, you know the mindset we have here. And you know the mindset we have about games. We love games and we're here to enjoy it and we love the classics. That's why we talk about OG Call of Duty. I have no problem talking about modern Call of Duty and what they're doing. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm even talking about Call of Duty in the first place. Honestly, if those games didn't exist and Call of Duty was a new series that came out 6 years ago with the game of Call of Duty Cold War, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, I wouldn't be saying anything. I would have no interest, but I do because of classic Call of Duty. We all know how much those games mean to us, those classic Call of Duties. And even if you're someone who's watching this video and hasn't played those games, then that's fine. I know there's games that you've played that mean something to you and you love to see that into a movie. Not because it needs it, but just because you're curious. It's exciting, just to see some of the stories we love told in different ways. Always exciting, and I always love that. It's like obviously, you don't have to make it one-to-one. You can have some small changes, but they have to be very minute. I mean, like the stuff that happens in games and movies, like some stuff might be boring and some stuff might not make sense because it's a game, right? But honestly, I guarantee there's some way to work around it. Movies get made, stories get made. You're telling a video game story. I mean, what are all those cutscenes for in games, right? Like those are literally, imagine it's just a big long cutscene. Like what? It's hard to explain it. But speaking of cutscenes, the game of the longest cutscenes of all time, Metal Gear Solid 4, 71 minutes, 71-minute cutscene. Why can't we get a 71-minute movie about a game? I mean, Hideo Kojima could figure out how to do it. I guarantee if you said to Hideo Kojima, can you make a movie of Death Stranding or Death Stranding 2? I guarantee you could get it done. If anyone doesn't know who that is, that guy created the entire Metal Gear Solid series for the most part, Death Stranding, and now he's working on a new horror game. He's a legend in gaming. He cares about movies. He loves movies so much. His bio on Instagram is literally my body's made 70% of movies. So I mean, that means the guy clearly loves movies. He takes a lot of inspiration. He loves Hollywood. Like I think if anyone was going to make a video game into a movie, it would have to be him. I don't think he will do it. He has no reason to. He's working on the new game. But I think if anyone was going to, it would probably be him. I just don't doubt it. It's just Kojima. It's a Kojima classic. If you know what I'm talking about, here, if you know who Hideo Kojima is, you know what I'm talking about. And that's how it goes. But so like circling back again, like kind of to finish off here, I love video games. I'd love to see some video game movies. I don't see the negative benefits. I don't see a downside to this at all. I only see upsides. I think it would be awesome. It would be exciting. And if some of the favorite video games I've ever played in my life got turned into movies, you bet your ass I'm gonna sit down and watch it. This is a topic I've never heard talked about on YouTube ever. Maybe I'm not scrolling around the dark corners of YouTube. I didn't look up if people have talked about this before I made the video. But that's what we do here at Interops. If you're new here, take the time to like, subscribe, maybe turn the bell on, get ready for the next uploads, because I feel like I've got a good mind here. And like, once again, I swear I've never heard anyone talk about this. Why don't they make video games into movies? Like, I feel like that's not even a crazy thing. I feel like that should have been done already by now. And I know they take the series, they take the characters, and they make like a story based off of the world. But I mean one-to-one recreation. Like I'm talking about, like, imagine Resident Evil 1 or Resident Evil 9 or Call of Duty Black Ops, or like I've said already, I feel like I'm kind of circling back to saying the same things, but it's just so true. So I'm just gonna end this off. What do you think about video games being turned into movies? Would you watch them? And if not, why? And if you would, what game would you want remade into a movie? For me, I think Call of Duty Black Ops, when it comes to Call of Duty, this is the Call of Duty channel, Call of Duty Classic, that's why the channel is based off of, just like the gameplay you're seeing right now. So guys, this has been Interops. I'm gonna leave you off with that question. Answer in the comments below, like and subscribe. This has been Interops, where the inner desire for success decides the outward operations to achieve it. Good luck, guys.